are you? Who? Who are you under pressure? Who are you when things aren't going great? Who do you want to be if you're not that person yet? And the three questions I always ask: who are you? What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What would you die for? And they're pretty deep questions, I get that. But if you wake up every day with a purpose, if you really believe in something and you wouldn't sacrifice or compromise that, is it possible that you live with self-respect, with self-dignity, and you wouldn't allow other people to hurt you? Now, I'm asking that for a reason, because I have a lot of people that share with me they're having a bad day because somebody has screwed with their head. Somebody's upset them, somebody's frustrating them, somebody's making them angry. And it might be a complete stranger that cut them off in the traffic, or somebody from work who's trying to pull them down, or it could be somebody gossiping or criticising or being nasty. There's a lot of horrible people in the world. But one of the things that I'm really proud of, and I think is a really cool headspace to be in, is I can't control what other people do. They are none of my business, literally. I can only control what I do. And I get to control how I react or respond to other people. So if people are nasty and horrible and criticising and gossiping and they're just crappy people, they're going to do that. I can't change that. I don't want to change that because it's not my job to change other people, obviously. But I get to respond or react in my way. So if I say react, which is what happens if you get a reaction to a poison or some kind of chemical or some horrible person that you are reacting to, that's a horrible thing. But if I respond, so if I take a medication, I respond well to that medication, that's a good thing. So I like to respond rather than react. And the response seems to be more of a choice rather than reaction, which is, I got poisoned, so I feel sick. And isn't that what people do to our brain? They poison our brain. Horrible people tend to live inside our head rent-free. They make us angry, frustrate us, annoy us. Or, better question, do we allow them to do that? So if somebody's trying to hurt me, upset me, make me angry, and I get hurt, upset, and I get angry, surely they are the winner. They are now in control of my life. They're in control of how I feel. And I don't want that to be the case. I'm a control freak, and I love sharing that for two reasons. If I'm in control, that means nobody else is in control. I am. And the word freak to me means the opposite to normal. And I don't want to be normal or average or the same as everybody else. I want to be different, which makes me a freak. So I love being a control freak. And I want to be a control freak of my own emotions. So I'm all about solutions, and I'll share with you that the only way to do that, of course, is to be in control of your endocrine system, your hormonal system. Your hormones control how you feel. Or can you control your hormonal system, which means then you are in control of your emotions. So, as I often share very passionately, a lot of people try and hurt me, upset me, frustrate me. I get horrible telephone calls, horrible emails. There's a lot of crappy people in the world. Well, there's billions of them. Well, there's billions of people, so there's always going to be horrible people. But one of my great philosophies in life is there's always going to be horrible people who do horrible things. But I only become a horrible person if I join in with them. And I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to have that rubbish in my life. So if something horrible happens to me, I want to change my hormonal system immediately. So if I feel emotional, frustrated, angry, annoyed, any of those negative emotions, I go and sort that out very quickly physiologically. I don't have to think about I want to feel better. I go and punch the bag, kick the bag, sprint up a hill, lift something heavy, skip rope, run up some stairs, which then changes my brain chemistry. Because as soon as you put your body under pressure, you feel stressed, your body fills up with cortisol. Now that's the reason for that, of course, is so that you can get away from the threat or you can kill the threat. That stressful feeling, the cortisol neurotransmitter, is there for a reason so that you can overcome the threat. But if you don't overcome the threat, you don't disperse the cortisol, epinephrine, adrenaline, it just circulates in your bloodstream. Now, one of the challenges with that, of course, is if you have increased blood sugar levels, which is what happens when you've got to run away or fight, you need you need the sugar in your blood so that you can fight. That's what gives you the energy to get away or to kill the threat. But if you don't get rid of that sugar, those big glucose molecules run around in your bloodstream, you have increased blood sugar levels, and I'm sure you've heard that's not a good thing. And the reason for that is that glucose molecules are large. And when they're floating around in your bloodstream and they're banging up against the walls of your arteries, of the hoses of your body, they cause damage. They make cuts and little abrasions, and they create havoc inside your hose system Then the cholesterol, which is perfectly healthy if it's flowing through your bloodstream, but if cholesterol catches on those little nicks and cuts and abrasions, then you get clogged arteries, which is then cardiovascular disease, which means you can die. So literally stress can kill you because your whole system clogs up with, it becomes a big mess, really. So I don't want that to happen, of course. I want to get the blood. If I've got blood sugar in my bloodstream, I want to disperse it. I want to burn it off, which means I have to go at 100% effort, which is in my fight position. And I think that, and I don't have any proof for this, I just think it's common sense that if you fight the threat, if you overcome the threat by killing it, it's going to make you feel better than if you run away from the threat. Because if you run away, yes, it didn't kill you, but it's still there. It could still find you and get you another time. But if you overcome the threat, then by killing it, by getting rid of it, then it can't get you again. Now, there's always going to be threats in the world, but I want to kick and punch. I create that fight system regularly. So if I feel stressed, if I feel annoyed, if I feel angry, if I feel frustrated, if people try and annoy me, I then go and get rid of that stress by fighting. So I kick and punch. Then I feel fantastic because the neurotransmitting change in your brain, the physiology in your brain is, she overcame the threat. She's a bloody legend. Dopamine. So you fill up your brain with a reward neurotransmitter. Serotonin is a satisfaction neurotransmitter, which is, wow, you're still alive and now you get to live your life at the best way possible without the threat trying to kill you because you overcame the threat. So dopamine, serotonin, but the big one's brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is fertilizer for your brain. And literally that's the hormonal response in your body, the reason we get fitter and stronger. Because your body says, what if next time the threat's bigger? What if the stress that's trying to kill you is bigger than last time? You've got to be bigger and better than last time. You've got to be fitter and stronger, tougher and wiser. So the brain-derived neurotropic factor sends messages to every part of your body, the fertilizer in your brain, that says she's got to be better for next time. She's got to be fitter, she's got to be stronger, she's got to be tougher. I'm sharing all of this because what that basically means is that I'm in control of my hormones. If I feel emotional, that's hormonal, then I go and sort that by overcoming the cortisol, epinephrine, adrenaline, turning it into dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor, oxytocin if I run with my puppy dogs or if I hang out with great people, and endorphins, which are happy drugs that are painkillers. The whole body's designed, and this is what I love about the endocrine system, about hormones, is that your body's designed to stay alive, to thrive, and to reproduce. Now, nobody wants to reproduce as humans if you feel crappy, if you feel angry, if you feel frustrated. So your body's constantly trying to get you back into the feeling of, I feel fantastic, so that I can be the human that I was designed to be, which is alive, thriving and wanting to make more humans. Now, you might not want to make more humans, but wouldn't it be nice to be in a position where you feel so good that you want to go and have great relationships with the people in your life? So if I wrap all of that up, doesn't matter how you feel, doesn't matter who you are, you get to control all of that. If you don't feel good, you can change your brain chemistry. If you're a crappy person, you can choose not to be. Nobody else can change you, the same as I can't change anybody else. But I get to choose who I'm going to be, and I get to choose who I put into my life. And so do you. Isn't that awesome? So Mrs. Positivity here, isn't it fantastic that we get to choose the way we live? And the 4 things that I bang on about every day, we choose to be healthy, fit and strong. We choose to have a career or business that we love, which then provides us with financial security, safety, wealth and being rich if that's what you want, and we get to choose the people that we put into our life. So imagine this. Imagine if you're healthy, fit and strong, you've got a career or business that you love, you're financially free and secure, and you've only got great relationships. Could that mean that you are in control of your life, you're in control of your hormones, and most importantly, what a great way to live. I call it live your life to the max. Super duper doo, how are you? Living my life to the max. Woohoo!